Well, good morning, y'all. I hope you're doing good. I hope you've been able to take a listen to the launch call, and if you have, I hope it's added value to you. And there's two things I want to show you today that's going a little bit deeper on a couple of things that I mentioned in that launch call. Before I do that, I want to remind you that this Monday we will be having our very first real lesson in the book Think and Grow Rich. Now, I want to share with you that launch call that can be shared, right? And as we're going into this Think and Grow Rich, just know that this is my own intellectual property. So please don't share any of these videos and don't share any of the recordings with anyone else. If there's somebody that you would like to share that with, just invite them into the program, and we'll be happy. It's not too late to do that, but I just ask that you do not share this intellectual property going forward, okay? And I know you guys that you're not going to do that, right? So also Monday the call is at 12. You can just dial in, and I'll make sure to email you that number and post it on Facebook too. But call in, listen to the teaching call. It's going to be about 40 minutes, and then from there I'll open it up for question and answer. You can also ask questions on the Facebook page. Don't be shy or afraid to share your thoughts or ask any questions on there, because some people in the study, they probably have the same questions that you do. Okay, so looking forward to really diving in on Monday on the chapter on persistence. And yes, we are weird, right? We're starting with chapter 9 on persistence, and looking forward to doing that. But today, a couple things I want to go over with you. In the launch call, there's something that I said, and that's that we think in images, right? We think in images. If I were to say to you, think of the word car, or what about think of the word home, or think of New York City, right? When I said think of home, the letters H-O-M-E didn't pop up on the screen of your mind. Your home, the image of your home popped up on the image of your mind, or the screen of your mind. And then when I said car, C-A-R didn't pop up, but the image of your car probably did, right? And when I said New York City, what image popped up? It could be different for many of us. Some of us may have thought of the New York City skyline. Some of us may have thought of the Statue of Liberty. And if you weren't thinking the Statue of Liberty, now you are, right? Because that's where I directed your energy to. What if I said something like, the fox's tail is not white? You still get the image of the fox's tail being white, even though I said it's not. Right, so we think in images, and we think in pictures. Now, if I said to you the word mind, what image comes to your mind when I said the mind? And most of us think of the brain. We get an image of the brain, and I would say probably 99% of people do that. I know that's the image that comes to my mind. But what I want to show you today is we're not talking about the brain, the organ. We're talking about the mind. And if you watched the video that I shared on our Facebook page a few weeks ago, I kind of introduced this, and this is the stick person. It's just a diagram. It helps to better understand. I found it to be a very good understanding of how the mind works. So we're going to take a look at this real quick and introduce, for those of you that didn't watch this the other day, this will help you understand that. If you did, this will be a little bit of a refresher, but we're also going a little bit deeper. So hang in here with me, and it's always good to watch this again. So, and that's one of the great things about this, the way I tried to set this up in our Facebook group is you have lifetime access to these videos, or you can come back and watch it anytime. So, all right. So this is based on the concept therapy movement, the stick man. So we're going to draw a big circle. Big circle, and that's going to represent our mind. And then I'm going to draw a little line there to represent our neck, and then a little bitty body with some legs and some arms. Okay, and this is our stick person. And what this basically represents is that we have an intellect, we have a body. We're spiritual beings gifted with an intellect, living in a physical body. And as you can see, our body is really the smallest part of who we are. So we have this mind, and our mind is divided into two. We're going to divide the mind into two. We're going to separate it there. And if you watched the other day, I said we have our conscious thinking mind, our conscious mind, and then below, this is our subconscious mind, subconscious mind. And I said in the video the other day that our conscious mind, this is where we can, this is our thinking mind. Our thinking mind. We can choose our thoughts. Right here, this is our feeling mind. This is where our emotions lie. And one of the things about this conscious thinking mind is we have the ability to choose our thoughts. We can choose our thoughts. When we choose our thoughts, they produce an emotion and a feeling in the body. So thoughts, we impress upon the subconscious mind that moves the body to a feeling or an emotion. When we get those emotions, that changes the vibration in the body, which moves the body into action. Man, that's rough. That's supposed to be an arrow. It doesn't look like it, right? Thoughts produce our feelings. Our feelings change the vibration in the body, which causes us to move into action. And our action, through cause and effect, produces our results. Okay? So this is a basic understanding here. And we go back to this conscious thinking mind. We have the ability to accept or reject any idea that comes in. We can accept those ideas, or we can reject those ideas. Thoughts come in from the environment. We have the ability to accept those or reject those. If you're watching this video, you may say, this guy, this little short dude, does he know what he's talking about? What does he know what he's talking about? Has he researched this stuff? Is this stuff real? Right? So you can accept what I'm saying, or you can reject that. That's the ability. This is where our free will lies, right? Our subconscious mind, this is where our beliefs lie. This is where our habits lie. This is our conditioned mind. This part of our mind has no ability to reject any idea. It has to accept any thought that's passed on to it from our conscious thinking mind. And I want to give you an example kind of this. Let's say let's say that me and you are going, let's say we're going on a hike. We're going to go up to the mountains. We're going to go up to the Smoky Mountains, and we're going to go for a hike. And we got all of our stuff, and we're on the trail, and we get going, and we see all these signs that say, beware of bears. Right? There's bears in the area. Just beware. And let's say we get going, we're kind of, we're about ready to head back. But over here in the trees and in the grass over here, we start to hear some rustling over here. We kind of hear some weird sounds. And out of the corner of our eye, we see something big and black, right? We see a bear. Right here in the peripheral vision, we see a bear. What happens? Immediately our body goes into this flight or fight response, right? All the blood vessels, all the blood flows from our organs to our limbs so we can run and get up out of there, right? Our heart starts racing and our mind starts, right? We tense up and we skeet out of there, right? This happens, so we had this thought come in that we saw a bear. We think we saw a bear. Our body automatically goes into a response which produces an action that we run, right? This happens, I want you to get this, this happens whether we really saw the bear or we imagined we saw the bear. Even if that dark, big black dark spot really wasn't a bear, we thought we saw a bear, which produced a feeling, an emotion that caused us to move into action, which produced our results of getting out of there, whether that was real or imagined. So, whether it's real or imagined. So, thinking mind can accept or reject. Subconscious mind, this is where our thought or our emotions lie, our feelings. This is our emotional part of our mind. It has no ability to reject any idea, whether it's real or imagined. All right? So, second thing I want to show you on this is, I may get in trouble for using a shirt that's right here, okay? I wanted to show you this to say that we think in pictures. And moving on from there, there's something else that I had said in our launch call that we don't want to be talking about the renewing of our mind. We don't want to be conformed to this world, but we want to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. And I want to show you something here. So, change. Yeah, I almost just better write this whole thing again, huh? We'll just go like this. All right, right there. So, all right. So the renewal of our mind, that's what we're talking about here. Okay, so we've got our conscious thinking mind up here, and then we have our subconscious mind here. We're going to say this is our past conditioning, right? Our past conditioning. So this is where our old beliefs lie. This is where our old habits lie. This is what's produced our current results, right? So let's say, and I'm going to say our past conditioning. This has taken years to develop, right? Our past conditioning. I'm gonna put a negative sign there. I'm not saying that where you are is bad or negative or anything like that. What I'm going to suggest here, just in this, is that this negative is going to represent it's not where we want to be, right? So I'm going to put a positive over here of the results that we want. So this is where we want to be. Our current conditioning has not allowed us to be there yet, okay? That's what I'm trying to say here, is this negative refers to not where we want to be. All right, so our past conditioning, we have the ability to think thoughts that are in harmony with our current conditioning, or we can think new thoughts that are not in harmony with this current conditioning. So let's say we have this thought come in. We'll say negative thought. It's in harmony right here with our current conditioning. So it's in harmony. We like that. It feels good. We're used to that. That's our comfort zone. So because this part of our mind is our emotional mind, that's going to turn us produce the vibration in the body, cause us to take action, which produces our results. And our results, that's where we're comfortable with. That's going to reflect back, help us choosing the same thoughts that we've always chosen, which are in harmony with our current beliefs, our current conditions, our current habits. As you can see, this is that never-ending cycle right here, right, of autopilot. We have the ability to choose our own thoughts, but most of us choose thoughts that are in harmony with where we're comfortable. And you can kind of see where people stay on this autopilot forever, right? So, but we also have the ability to choose a new thought. All right? We have the ability to choose a new thought. So this is a thought. We've got a goal out here. This is a new thought. We think that this is going to take us closer to where we want to be, but because it's not in harmony with our past conditioning, there's disharmony there. There's discomfort there, and we don't really like that, right? So we dislike it too. Something's not right. Something's not right. So this part, this past condition, that's been there for a long time, right? It's taken years to build up this past condition, and I think research shows that we think 60,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of those thoughts are the same exact thoughts that we had yesterday, which had the same thoughts we had the day before, right? So these thoughts are coming in like every second. So we're having new thoughts every second. This has been here forever. So one thing, there's discomfort here, there's disharmony. Something's going to have to change. Either this new thought is going to have to change, or this past conditioning is going to have to change. And what most of us, we're trying really hard, we're focusing on our goal, but we're not there yet. And what happens as soon as we take our eye off the ball, we go back into comfort, Thinking the same thoughts, which produce the same feelings, which produce the same actions, which produce the same results. And again, we stay in this never-ending cycle of our comfort zone and autopilot. But again, we can choose thoughts that will take us closer to where we want to go. This does not happen overnight, right? So how do you change this past conditioning? And that's really where we're going to dive deeper as we keep going into this. I talked about our departure points and our arrival points, right? Our arrival point, this is where we want to be. Our departure point, this is where we're at. And we're talking about a renewal of our mind. This is what we're wanting to renew, right? This part of our mind, our old habits and our old beliefs, that's what we want to renew. We want to renew that to beliefs that are going to take us closer to where we want to be. We want to renew that to habits that are going to take us to where we want to be. But we do that through the conscious thinking mind. So how do we do that? How do we do that? We take this image of what it is that we want. Whatever it is that you want, whatever your goal is. Say you want to be a top producer in real estate. For myself, let's say I want, I don't know how much of this I want to share throughout this program, but I'll share some of it because I shared it in the goal setting seminar. But we want to develop a 3-story mixed-use facility, right? So if that's my goal, I'm going to hold that image right here in my conscious thinking mind with my imagination. I'm also going to use my will to stay singularly focused on this image. I'm going to use my reasoning mind to think of action steps that are going to take me closer to that. I'm going to think of use my reasoning mind to say, who are some people that I need to meet? What are some things I need to do? And I'm going to impress this image, again, because we think in images, I'm going to impress this image on my subconscious thinking mind that's going to produce a feeling, which little by little changes my actions, which changes my results over time. Again, this isn't going to happen. You're not going to go from, if say you want to make $1 million a year, you're not going to go from $40,000 a year right to $1 million, right? It most likely not going to happen. It's going to happen over time. So little by little, departure point after departure point after departure point, and we finally arrive at our arrival point destination, which is what we're talking about. So 2 points that I wanted to make today as we think in pictures, and the renewal of our mind comes from this subconscious mind. Right? We do that by holding the image of what it is that we want. What is it that you want? You want to be a top producer? Well, what does that look like? What does a top producer think like? What are some of the habits that a top producer has? How does a top producer write an email? How does a top producer respond to a text message? So you're trying to hold this image, hold it in your conscious thinking mind, thinking thoughts and accepting thoughts that are in harmony with where you want to be, and impressing that upon the subconscious mind. So, 2 things there that I wanted you to see, that we think in images and the way we renew our mind there. So I look forward to our next call on persistence. One of my favorite, I love persistence. You may actually hear me say that a lot throughout this program, but chapter on persistence it probably is one of my favorites. So I look forward to the call on Monday again. Jump in. There's a time of Q&A. So if you have questions there, if you have something that you want to share on Facebook, do that within our group. If you have questions or if you're getting a new awareness, share that. I'd love to see that and love to be able to answer your questions. So I hope you guys have a great day. I'll look forward to talking with you on Monday.